31 miles from here. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Let's say it's just cost you another $20.
That's the funny part. It's not $20. You got a minivan that's getting 28, 31 miles on the gallon, and you're driving on the highway all the way out there.
Yeah.
It's you're getting 30 miles to the gallon. It's a tank of gas is getting you to fucking the Grand Canyon.
Sure.
You're getting to the Grand Canyon on less than a tank of gas. So gas has gone up 4 cents a gallon. 41 cents?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is, you're canceling your vacation. Maybe you shouldn't go on vacation.
No, I wonder how stingy you would have been on other things if they actually went before, because maybe that was his whole budget on food and hotels and everything else, and the whole family are up for it.
No one ever said, here's the thing, I used to be extremely poor, and nobody wants to say anything. No one wants to go, oh, fuck, get over it. Who gives a shit? Because the people that have money have a lot of guilt, and so nobody wants to go hold on. Gas went from $2.51 a gallon to $3.02, and you've canceled your plans to go to the Bay Area this year for vacation? What the fuck's wrong with you? And maybe you shouldn't be going on a vacation. Maybe you should be staying here and working if that's what's going on. But no one ever does that. Everyone just goes, oh yeah, no, things are tough all over. I agree. We're spoiled over here.
I would like to have a news channel that did that. Just news where they just go, what the fuck are you talking about? Wake up to yourself.
Yeah, they do it. They could do it in the weather when it rains out here for more than a day and a half. They always hit the streets. How are you dealing with the weather? How are you dealing with the street?
England's the worst. England London has one snowy day a year. It always happens one day a year.
Right.
The town shuts down.
And everyone and all the news reporters go out and want to know how people are dealing with it.
It's an inch.
Right.
The cars, cars will stop in the street, everyone will get out, and you'll come back and get your car the next day. Right. Like, it's that level of nowhere. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And they have and the airport shuts.
Right.
And they talk about it's a blizzard.
Right.
And it's like an inch of snow. And the kids are as happy as fuck. They're out in the street playing in it. Yet it rains 300 days a year.
You know, my plan, I know, much worse. My plan, Donnie, find out anything about a nuclear battleship or
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's aircraft carrier. I'm not sure how many battleships we have there.
Oh, okay. I said aircraft carrier 9 times before.
They got lots of aircraft.
What'd you find out?
I keep finding information about the ships, but I can't find out about how much fuel or what the fuel measurement name is.
All right. Well, anyway.
The government's probably censoring that. You know how they are with the propaganda. Speaking about World War II, I met a guy about 6 months ago, and I actually pitched this to a movie company that this would make a funny film, and they just said it was too dark. But I met this dude who was in his 90s, and I was sort of like, he's in his 80s, and I was like, he was talking about the war, and I said, oh, were you in the war? After the gig, he goes, no. He goes, I dodged the draft. And you always, when you meet those guys, you're like, good for you.
Right.
What did you fake? A bad back or something? Wow, very ingenuitive. Right? So this guy dodges the draft, and then he stays in London. Now, London was getting bombed once a week.
Right.
And everyone was on the street, and they'd all go down into where the tube was, the underground.
Yeah,
and they'd all sit there for 4 hours. And I said, that must have been scary. And he said, it was the greatest time of my life. He said, all the men were overseas fighting.
Right.
If you can't get laid underground with a whole lot of women who think they're about to die, you're never getting laid.
Right.
It was the wedding crash.
JimJeffries.com for information about tour dates, concerts, and places will be coming near you. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Jim Jeffries and my good buddy The Wheeze saying, Mahala.
You try again. Futilely, you try. to bring a little family entertainment into people's lives, you know? I'm trying to stay away from the gay material. The gay people got upset. I did a couple jokes, and they got all upset. They protested my shows, got all kinds of letters. They tried to ban my album. How can he make a joke about this disease? It's not funny. And his jokes are medically incorrect. Yes, your friend, your buddy, the audience's friend, is guilty of telling medically incorrect jokes, whatever the fuck that is about. You know, I can't believe it, because I remember when I was going to medical school to write fucking jokes, I promised myself I would never do medically incorrect humor. So since I made those jokes and they were medically incorrect, I thought the least I could do is write some medically correct fucking jokes about AIDS. My feeling is, of course I'm not a doctor, if you don't count witch doctor, and, but, no, I swear to God, from what I understand, the two main ways you can actually catch AIDS is, one is to receive a large load of infected semen up the fucking ass, which is, I don't know if this is something you have to live in fear of every day, but, you know, come on. You basically have to make an appointment for that, folks. That's not just going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to sit on a fucking public toilet seat and go, whoa, hey! I just got shot up the ass with an infected load of semen! Who's the smart ass? Nah. The other way, of course, is if you, you know, shoot up with a guy who likes to suck dick for drug money. Again, it's not something I have to worry about, is shooting up with guys that suck dick for drug money. But maybe this is, again, something that is a daily threat in your life. Yeah, but these are medically correct jokes. I did take a lot of heat off them. This coming from a group that for a hobby, for a recreational hobby, they like to take like a small animal, like a gerbil or a hamster, wrap it up in electrical tape, and shove it up into their ass so they can dance better. I don't know about you, but I thought I knew every fucking way there was to get high. It never occurred to me to put a rodent in my fucking intestinal tract, you know? What was I thinking? What the fuck? How bored was this guy at the party? Well, we're out of booze, we're out of pot, there's no more Coke? Oh, fuck. Wait, doesn't your little brother have a hamster up in his room? What if we tape him up? What if we tape him up and shove him in my ass? That's gotta feel different. The fuck? Whose idea was this? That's when I understood what the group the Pet Shop Boys were all about. I didn't know. I didn't know. Who knew? The fucking Pet Shop Boys. I was going, what a stupid thing to name your band. The Pet Shop Boys. And I went, oh, fuck off. That's it. Because you got to go to a pet shop to buy stuff like that. These guys aren't going to, like, you know, go out in the forest and catch woodchucks. Oh, yeah, he'll do. Shut up, you little bastard. Get up into my ass, squirrel. What the fuck is that about, man? Oh. But yeah, I'm the one that's nuts. I'm the one out of control.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting broadcast day.
Yeah. Woo! Get it on. Got to get it on. Have no choice but to get it on. Where were we? 866-901-ADAM. It's How Say You time, people. You call up, you talk about anything you want. Good morning, Teresa Strasser.
Good morning, Adam Carolla.
Good morning, Bald Brian.
We're driving to Florida!
Yeah, Larry Miller. Larry Miller coming in here this morning. Very excited.
I caught him on cable TV the other day and added it to the card because I'd forgotten he starred in 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger.
Sure. Yeah, he was the dad in that.
Totally forgot.
One of the few stand-ups who's made a nice, smooth transition into acting roles.
You think of him more as an actor now than a stand-up. Sort of like, remember Kevin Pollak? Well, not remember, but Kevin Pollak is probably a good example.
That's right. He did stand-up, did a lot of impressions and things like that, and now he's just strictly an actor. Mm-hmm. Evidently,
Jay Moore.
Everyone is trying to get out of stand-up.
Yeah. It's a launch pad, not a landing pad.
Right. It's funny. Stand-up has, like, there's two camps in stand-up. There are the guys who move through stand-up, no longer do stand-up, but now do acting, and the guys who continue to do stand-up who are bitter, who wish they had been able to get some acting roles.
Jim Carrey, a good example of the latter.
Right. All right. So, Larry Miller, one of our favorites. Smart, funny. And again, you don't know from watching TV or watching movies or even reading books sometimes if these guys are actually funny or not. Turns out he's actually funny.
There are 5 levels of drinking.
That's one of his favorite bits, or one of his, let's say, most popular bits. Yeah, signature bits. All right, Teresa?
Yes?
You cool? You got anything you want to say?
Let's hear what Mike has to say.
Mike is on line 2. He wants to heap praise, and that sounds like the kind of guy I want to talk to. Teddy? Is he cleared up? Mike?
Good morning, Adam, Teresa.
What's happening, Mike?
Not a whole lot. Adam, you've been real influential in my life since, I don't know, like 15. So I just wanted to say I love the show, but also it's been great listening over the years.
He's 17.
Yeah, 17. Now I'm 24.
24?
Yeah. And Teresa, good morning.
Good morning.
And that's about it, guys.
Well, Mike, let me say this. As I say to people all the time, I want to talk to people. I want to influence them. That's why I got into this business. I was working out with a guy yesterday, and he says, I also trained Jonathan Rhys-Meyers from, he's an actor. You definitely know who he is.
From Bend It Like Beckham.
Bend It Like Beckham, was he in there?
Match Point.
And the Tudors and all that kind of stuff. You definitely know the guy. And he said, I'd try to get him on the show, except for he doesn't really do anything unless he's promoting something, so it's kind of hard. But he's a good guy and everything. It's just when he has a movie to promote, I'll get him out to promote something. But if he doesn't have anything to promote, he's not going to come on the show. And I said, I've never uttered those words in my life. I will go on anyone's show at any time and talk about anything because, A, I'm promoting myself, but B, I get to communicate. I get to talk to people. There's a weird part about this business, and it's two-part. All right, let me say this. Now you got me going, Mike. I'm going to start blowing my own horn here, or else it's going to sound pathetic. There are people that are in this business, they're actors. And they're serious actors, or they're comedic actors. You'd be surprised how serious the comedic actors are. And what they would like to do is they would like to be seen on the big screen, and they would like to get a nice paycheck, and they'd like to live in a nice house and drive a nice car and find a nice woman based on being up on that big screen. And I dig it. I'm the same way. I want the paycheck, too, and I want the nice car and so on and so forth. But what they don't really want to do is communicate with anybody. As a matter of fact, that's a nuisance. So they don't. They walk around with their shirt pulled up over their head and dark sunglasses on and a beanie. They stay out of the way, and then about twice a year, they do a movie, and somebody says, well, guess what? You got to go on all these shows. And they go, oh, Christ, really? And they go, look, it's in the contract. It's part of the deal. So then what happens is tomorrow we'll be speaking to Jessica Alba. Not because Jessica Alba likes communicating with you people. Not because she's a fan of the radio. Well, ultimately we'll be speaking to her because she's hot, because she wouldn't have these acting roles if she didn't look the way she looked. We'll be talking to her, and she'll be talking to us and 30 other radio stations because it's stipulated in her contract that she must do a radio tour. She will do that. When she's done with that, she'll take a deep breath. She'll turn to her publicist. She'll say, thank Christ I don't have to do this for another 6 to 9 months, and then she'll go home and go back to bed.
I should fire you and burn down your friggin' house!
I don't understand that mentality. To me, it's a privilege. And I know it sounds blowhardy. And don't get me wrong, I think I'm better than all of you. It's not one of those things where I think I work for you, and it's not one of these things where I think we're the same, and it's not one of these things where I think you're all just as funny and just as smart as I am. I don't think that for a New York minute. I know I'm better than you guys. That's why I'm the one with the microphone. But I love talking to and at people. I look forward to it. I like it on my show. I like it better on other people's show. the reason I like it better on other people's shows because I feel like I get to go talk to people who I don't normally get to talk at.
Right.
That's why I got into this business. Now, look, Jessica Alba's a hot-looking chick who, digs the money, digs the fame, digs the scene, and I don't blame her. But I do blame comedians. For Christ's sake, you're a comedian. I thought the deal was you wanted to communicate your ideas. Right. So here's an open seat on the Adam Carolla show. Put your ass down there and start talking. Nah, no can do. Publicist says no.
Right.
Not interested. I find it sort of weak, number one, because I feel like if Jim Carrey came in here and sat down, you'd realize that he's not that fast and he's not that funny. And when he doesn't have a script or he's not doing his characters, there's not all that much to him. So number one, I feel like a lot of these guys don't want to do it because they're going to be exposed. Because the guys that are that fast and are that funny and are that interesting and can live in the moment, they do come on more often. The other guys don't. So A, they don't want to be exposed, but B, they're saying to me they don't have anything to say, and I couldn't understand that. I understand it now. The first 5 years I did radio and we'd have people turn us down to do Loveline all the time, I'd be like, I don't understand. We're in 100 cities. We got a chair there with a microphone in front of it, and we can talk about anything we want.
But I don't understand how you can keep it so relevant. I mean, just to have a mic in front of you every minute of every day.
Keep it coming.
Kiss Rodeo.
Oh, me? Yeah. No, I mean, it's only 4 hours a morning, and you got...
Yeah, but I mean, back in Loveline days, too,
Well, here's the thing, and it's the same way I feel about Teresa as well, and Bald Brian through his drops.
Who's number one?
Not himself. Dr. Drew was interested in this thing called life and the people who walked around and lived that life. He was very interested in it, as was I. He wanted to know what motivated people, what made them tick, what made them feel good, and what made them feel bad, and what made them do bad things, and what made them do good things. And we just sat there and discussed that every night, and we never got our fill. We were a bottomless tumbler of interest when it came to that. And you need that. And I believe Teresa has that as well. Drew turned it into a business.
Evo didn't have that.
That's what it is. What's that?
Danny Bonaduce didn't have that.
Well, as I paraphrased and screwed up a saying, and I'll look it up the right way, or maybe someone in this room will correct me, but there are people that like talking about themselves, and then there are people that like talking about other people, and then there's people that like talking about ideas. Mm-hmm. I like talking about ideas. Drew likes talking about ideas. I believe Teresa likes talking about ideas. Oh, you get woven into it, and so do other people. But I think Danny liked talking about himself. And a lot of radio guys are that way, and that's not necessarily a knock. That's the game. That's the business you're in. You are the product. So Danny, who liked talking about himself, was wedged in between two people who wanted to talk about ideas. And I think that was part of the problem.
It felt like that, too. It just kind of felt like a speed bump,
Well, Mike?
Yeah.
Someone on line one, namely Dave from Sacramento, has something to say about Danny, so we'll just keep that train a-rolling, yes?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Mike. Hey, Dave?
Hey, hola.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hey, just getting going.
I was going to say, that hola sounded like you're working for the Spanish-speaking jazz station, and then I realized, there's no such thing as a Spanish-speaking jazz station. Let's all just think about that for a second. Spanish classical, Spanish jazz. No, just crazy bent trumpets and accordions pounding away. Interesting.
Dave,
all right.
Let's say you.
No space program. Who knew?
Dave.
Who would have known just by listening to the music? Would you ever have guessed just by listening to the music?
Danny, are you there?
Dave?
I just wanted to say how much I've enjoyed Danny on the show recently. He just chimes in at the right time. Always.
There he is.
And right back at you.
Just amazing.
Hey.
And he's cut down on the stories. He's been really just perfect.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I feel like we found a nice balance.
you have.
He really knows when to jump in and when to hold back.
Let's hope we can lay back a little, because Larry Miller's coming up, and I'm a big fan of his, and I really want to talk to him. All right, Dave.
Love the show.
Hey, Dave, what do you got on your docket for today?
Just working.
Where do you work?
I'm working. I own an attorney service up here.
You own one?
Yes.
And now you say a service.
Yes.
You know a job I used to have?
What?
I used to paint offices for a guy who leased floors out to attorneys, which is, dig this. This guy had this thing where he had these high-rise office buildings, and he would lease a whole floor. He'd put a receptionist and a law library in it and a whole bunch of offices, and he'd lease the entire floor out to a bunch of attorneys. So it was like a packaged law firm.
Right, that makes sense.
And I rolled on 7 million gallons of Navajo white with a guy named Andy, who was a Jehovah's Witness. And he named his 7 kids after the apostles, and all he wanted to talk about was Jehovah.
How was that for you?
Oh, good times. Good times.
You guys must have seen eye to eye on a lot of issues.
I was 19. It's like I had to listen to him because he was the ripe old age of 26, and he was like a man. No, I mean, you know what's weird? Like when you're 19 and there's a guy you're working with, and here's the deal with Andy. Andy is, functionally retarded. He loves Jehovah. He keeps crapping out kids, but he's getting $9.75 an hour. He has his own crappy van, and he's 7.5 years older than me. Thus, he's Donald Trump.
Your superior.
He is my superior. And me and Andy, and when you paint, by the way, there's nothing to do but talk. That's all you have is the person who's standing next to you with the roller. Yeah. That's it. We worked in a room half the size of this one. They were all small rooms. They were all rolled because they all just had that commercial cork ceiling, and they all had the vinyl baseboard and no trim, no wood, no. You never got the brush, you never got the semi-gloss out. You just rolled the flat on around the windows and everything. And we just talked about Jehovah's and who he witnessed. I don't even know what the hell that religion is. All I know is he was a religious nut job, and I was trapped in a very small, empty office with him. And again, you couldn't really listen to the radio because all the music was offensive to him. So it was just me and Andy. And when I think about all these super boring a-holes I got paired up with in my life, I really described the first part. How dare you? I described the first part of my life as being punished. I was really being punished. Like, you couldn't find a more boring... Like, once in a while, you hook up with that guy, and he's in the same prison you are, and he got railroaded in there, and he's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you get a cellmate. When you get a job, when you have a crappy job like painter, that guy's your cellmate. It's just you and Andy, the Jehovah's Witness. And what you're praying for is you get that cool guy who has one more year of college to go, but actually dropped out to backpack through Europe for like 2 years, and he just basically nailed a bunch of chicks, and now he's back here, and he's going to UC Davis, but he's got to save up some money, and his parents have money, but his parents said if you go to Europe, they're not going to pay him anymore, and he likes to surf, get up early and surf, but he's a smart guy, and he knows sports. There's something you can discuss.
You have some common ground.
Right. No. I got the born-again gangbangers who are asking for traveling mercy and listening to religious rock stations, and then Andy, the Jehovah's Witness. Or, on rare occasion, I'd get Mike or Mallory, the Vietnam vet strung out on the pain meds.
How about we wish for some traveling mercies as we journey into a commercial break?
Ooh, that is good stuff. Let's see. Many more questions for us.
It's an interesting question that I'm interested in your...
Culinary arts or construction? He wants advice?
Good.
All right.
That's important to me.
Many other topics to discuss, and a little topic we call How Say You in the Morning. We'll take a quick break. You guys hang on. We'll talk to you when we come back.
It's the Adam Carolla Show. Here's what's coming up this morning with Program Director Jack Silver.
Check. Rock the house, peeps. Today, from Rambo, actress Julie Benz. A recap of last night's American Idol. And comedian Larry Miller. That's it. Short and sweet. Just like my knob. I mean, long and sweet. Long and sour. I mean, how would I know?
Thank you, Jack. 866-901-ADAM. It's the Adam Carolla Show.
Oh, good times. All right, it's How Say You. It's your phone calls. Got some good ones on here, but first, as promised, we'll go to Chris. We'll try to dispense some advice. Chris?
Yeah, how's it going, Adam?
So you're 23, and you want to know what to do with the rest of your life.
Yeah, I got 2 jobs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's a construction job installing fireplace mantles, and then the other one, I work at a restaurant in downtown Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
But the restaurant job is what I really want to do, but it pays half of what I make at the construction job.
Mm-hmm.
And I still need to go to culinary arts in college for that.
Yeah, so, well, okay. Are you good with your hands?
Absolutely.
Okay, because that's a gift. I mean, the good with your hands is sort of like good with language, good with instruments, good with whatever. Kids. Some people have it, some people don't. If you're not good with your hands, you shouldn't be in that business. On the other hand, I found and find that the construction business is a very difficult one to really make money at, which is you could get into a union, you could get up to $28 an hour, and there you will stay for the rest of your life. Or you could open your own company, but when you open your own company, you have to bid against other companies, and then there's workman's comp insurance and all kinds of crap. And the way it is, especially in California, it's almost impossible to do it, turn a profit, be competitive, and do it above the board.
Right.
So you have to hire illegals and so on and so forth, and you're always kind of paying people under the table, and then you get into tax problems, and then some guy falls off a ladder and sues you.
Exactly.
So I prefer the culinary business over the construction, but do you have a zest for that?
Absolutely. That's my true passion. That's what I really, really want to do. And I've had numerous cooking jobs and construction jobs. But the construction jobs always pay more now, but I think in the long run...
Well, yeah. But that's